Greetings to everyone. Empathy, forgiveness, and compassion can change the world. Our brains are wired not only for survival but for empathy. We have mirror neurons that fire when we see another person in pain. Michami Dukkaram, a phrase that Jains use to seek forgiveness from all life forms and creatures that they've hurt and to stop holding a grudge against one another. The nature of humanity, its very essence, is to feel another's pain as one's own and to act to take that pain away. The legend says that during the Kurukshetra war, Ashwathama had murdered all the five sons of Draupadi treacherously whilst they were sleeping in the night. Arjun overpowered the culprit and was furious with rage when Lord Krishna asked Draupadi, as the mother of your five sons who were slain, tell me, what punishment should I give Ashwathama? Should I kill him? Draupadi wept at the thought of her children lying dead and then replied, no, I do not want Ashwathama to be killed. He is the son of our very own Guru. There is nothing equal to the sorrow of a mother who has lost her own children, and I do not want Ashwathama's mother to go through the same profound pain. And so Ashwathama's life was saved. This exemplary act of Draupadi, forgiving her son's murderer, is ample testimony to the truth of John Connolly's proverb that there's a nobility in compassion, a beauty in empathy, and a grace in forgiveness. So, my dear friends, let's all clothe ourselves with forgiveness, compassion, and humility and break down the walls that limit us and rise to become the best version of our own selves. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Shashank of Grade 8G. Today, I will be starting my speech by quoting a shloka from the great epic Mahabharata. Kshama dharma kshama yajna kshama vedah kshama shrutam yaeta devam janati sa sarvakshantum arhati. This shloka means that forgiveness is virtue. It is sacrifice. It is the Veda and it is the Shruti. And the person who knows this can forgive anyone. The highest form of knowledge is empathy, for it requires us to suspend all our egos and live in another's world. It requires a profound purpose, lies in self kind of understanding. When we focus on ourselves, our world contracts and our problems and preoccupations loom large. But when we focus on others, our world expands and our own problems drift to the periphery of the mind and hence become much smaller. We can increase our capacity for compassionate deeds. There are two paradigmatic cases of forgiveness from the great epic Ramayana. Sita forgiving the demon crow Kakasura and the demon women of Lanka even as they were harassing her. In the Mahabharata, Lord Krishna says to Jara, the hunter who shot him, that forgiveness transcends all sectarian differences. The truth to be told, forgiveness is like the pole star, the single fixed point that orients the entire moral universe. In the modern age, many great people like Mahatma Gandhi have declared forgiveness to be a great virtue. They have stated that the weak can never forgive, as forgiveness is an attribute of the strong. I would like to conclude my speech with a thought of Nelson Mandela. When we undergo a deep injury, we can never heal until we forgive. Thank you, Dada Shyam.
Hello everybody, my name is Kunal Mandhana. I am from Grade 8E representing Rani Lakshmi Bai House. Today I am here to speak on the topic there's a nobility in compassion, a beauty in empathy, a grace in forgiveness. This is true for me in everyday life. Some people think that these virtues are a sign of weakness, but for those of us who do this work, we know that compassion, forgiveness, and empathy are a way to live a healthy and happy life. Compassion is our ability to offer our services to the diverse environment, appreciating the creativity of others. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. Compassion is an action word with no boundaries. When we feel empathy, we think of placing ourselves in someone else's situation and having the ability to share and understand the emotions of others. When we develop the powers of imagination and empathy, the world opens up to us. Empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. Grace is God's nature, and so He expects all who love Him to be forgiving just as He has forgiven us. Some people find it challenging to forgive others who have hurt them and may feel that the person does not deserve to be forgiven. But remember, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Sometimes forgiving another may feel like letting them off the hook. But it is good to remind ourselves that forgiveness allows us to let go any unhealthy connections that we might have to those who have hurt us and move forward with or without them. Weak people revenge, strong people forgive, and intelligent people ignore. Compassion is a beautiful human character trait which provides meaning to life. Love and compassion are not luxuries but are necessities. Without this, humanity can't survive. It generates an altruistic feeling that is naturally exemplified in of empathy, forgiveness, and love. Thank you.
Forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. Namaste all, I am PSH Yashika of Grade VIII-C representing Mahatma Gandhi House. I am here to speak on the topic. There is nobility in compassion, a beauty in empathy, and a grace in forgiveness. Some people say that the people who forgive are showing a kind of weakness in them. But I, who follow the values like empathy, compassion, and forgiveness, knows that these are the ways to live life happy, enthusiastic, and healthily. Compassion. Why? That's a new topic for us. Yes, but it means very simple. Same to kindness. It means taking care, loving others, and spreading joy and fun. Next, empathy. Why? That's a new topic. Let's learn something about empathy. Yes. Tell me whether anytime you have felt any situations of your friends in which they tell you like, I have some situation, could you give a solution? How to give solution for this? It's very simple. Just go into their type of situation and think, if that happens to you, what would be your result? I have done that many times and I have been very happy seeing my friends happy with this result. Forgiveness. Wow, this is a hard topic, right? Nothing but just letting go, forgiving. Now, anybody's of your friends or any of your relationships, anybody have hurt you any time? Yes, maybe. Me too, many times. This is quite frequent in our lives. While that has happened many times to me, and what I done? Nothing but just forgiving, as they ask sorry after they understand that they have committed a mistake. As that happened to you, did they ask sorry? Wow, I think you would have forgiven, as you know the value of forgiveness, right? Okay, let's let go our internal peace and enjoy. Thank you.
Greetings. I stand here today to speak about forgiveness. Forgiveness. I don't know. I have absolutely no clue what forgiveness is. Because I have heard thousands of speeches about how forgiveness is important, essential, etc. But I haven't even heard one speech on how to forgive. How can I forgive someone so easily whom I have been holding a grudge on? Is it a superpower? My heart clenched between bad emotions and sore memories. How can I? 2 words. Love and gratitude. If you love someone, you will always tend to forgive to keep the relationship alive and going. But how can I forgive someone whom I absolutely hate and detest? Take the example of Dr. Wayne Dyer, who found himself at his father's grave at the age of 35. After hating his father and ignoring him his whole life, he would have nightmares, waking up in a cold sweat, anger coursing through his veins, heartbeat a little bit louder. So just forgive, forgive, forgive. Because set the prisoner free and realize that the prisoner was always you. Every step leaves a footprint. Every fight leaves a chance of forgiveness. Forgive yourself too. You deserve it. Ego, how could I forget it? Your heart might stop you from forgiving, but that doesn't stop time from ticking. So open your heart and forgive. It might be hard, but not impossible. So the world needs you, the happy you, the youthful you, the funny you. And I, Havisha Duri, will be eagerly waiting for this world to forgive yourself and to be you. Now that's power. Thank you.
Mark Twain had quoted, "Forgiveness is the fragrance of the violet that the heel has crushed." Well, true, as they rightly say, forgiveness may just end all problems relating to trust, relation, companionship, and love. My name is Siddharth, and today I'm going to talk about forgiveness. We have all lived a life, right? Where things have happened to us. Sometimes they may be good, bad, or sometimes downright ugly. The ugly ones or the bad ones may be inflicted upon us by our loved ones, the ones we thought are there to care for us, nurture us, and love us. But we as humans, we tend to be social. So, you be friendly with them, cordial with them, joyful with them, fearing that if you ever unleash your anger on them, they might hate you. And someday, you're going to wake up with a flurry of emotions. You think you hate them. You think you don't like their company. Or they might feel the same about you. But are not in a stage to accept that the emotion is anger and not any of these. Well then you say, how do I get rid of it? Simple. Forgive. It is easier said than done, but that is the truth. I believe that forgiveness is a four-way process. You have to know that you have done the same thing to them in the past. You have to ask for forgiveness and then at the same time forgive. I want to conclude by saying, forgiveness may not just be the ideal option, but is certainly the best one. Thank you.
Greetings everyone, this is K. Snigdha of Grade 9G. Before starting up with my topic, let me ask you a small question. What does forgiveness mean to you? You might tell that forgiveness means letting go of the person who have harmed me without harming them back. Yes, you're right, but this 6-letter powerful word, forgive, has a very deep meaning which is worth learning and practicing. Forgiveness not only means letting go of the person who have hurted you or harmed you, but it is letting go of all the negative emotions, anger, sadness, pain back. All these negative emotions, pain, anger, sadness are stored in bag of grudges. And when you don't forgive a person or harm him back, or the person who hurted you, you are still carrying the bag of grudges that becomes a big burden to you. But when you forgive, there's no more bag of grudges left with you. You've just left it or thrown it back. Forgiveness simply means it's a word which replaces the negative thoughts with positive attitude. Forgiveness helps us in moving on with present without anger or without seeking revenge. Forgiveness is a transformer of anger and sadness into a healing power which gives us relief and happiness or peace. I would end up by telling that to forgive is to set a prisoner free. And surprisingly, you find that the prisoner was you. Thank you.
A very warm greetings to everyone. I am Tejasvi of Grade 10A and I am here to share my views on the topic Forgiveness is the fragrance that violet sheds on the heels that has crushed it. As Mother Teresa said, if you really want to love, you must learn how to forgive. Forgiveness and happiness may not seem like obvious companions, but when seen in depth, they are interdependent. Forgiving someone does not mean forgetting the incident or the sadness and suffering that you have gone through. It means giving yourself freedom. Holding on to something for a very long time may give you mental and physical pressure, which may lead to depression and anxiety. Forgiveness kills all the bitterness and resentment. Forgiveness changes anger and hurt into healing and peace. It is about making a conscious decision to let go of all the grudge. Forgiveness frees us to live in the present. Reliving the wrong that was done to us keeps us living in the past and missing today's beauty. Forgiving someone is not an easy task. It takes a lot of courage to forgive someone, and one with the character is the one who can forgive. Forgiveness truly has an inner power and renewing effect when you act with kindness and compassion towards others. It allows you to move on unblemished of our own wrongs or the wrongs of others. It is a gateway to peace, freedom, self acceptance, and a greater ease in life. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
Namaskar, I'm Atit Jain, a student of grade 10E, and today I'm going to talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. By stating the example of a crushed violet, this couplet pronounces the inner beauty of a flower. Even in the moment of its destruction, it not only forgives but also has a desire of benefiting its destroyer. Although forgiveness comes naturally to flowers, it is not the same for humans. We have to learn and develop the habit of forgiving. All religions preach forgiveness and tolerance. Uttam Shama or supreme forgiveness is a concept in Jainism which is considered very important for spiritual progress, social harmony, and peace. Celebrations of most festivals in the world pave a path to meet, greet, and forgive each other on a regular basis. As Dadaji has said, the best giving is forgiving. By forgiving, we can gain many benefits for ourselves also. Peace of mind is the biggest treasure humans can have. When we carry a grudge against someone, it becomes a punishment which we inflict on ourselves. Every day, we need to shampoo our mind by forgiving people who have done wrong to us. Instead of carrying negative emotions like bitterness, vengeance, resentment, we should channelize our energies in the positive direction. The law of karma will take care of the people who continuously do wrong. Our duty is to forgive so that we can remain happy. Dada Shyam.
Good morning. My name is Akshra of class 10G and I'm here to give a speech on the topic. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. The famous saying goes, to err is human, to forgive is divine. The very nature of humans is to get angry and feel resentful to those who hurt us or did some harm to us in any way. We tend to remember the undesirable actions of others which impacted us and made us feel bad. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness is the act of overcoming the feeling of resentment or revenge for a person who did wrong actions. Forgiveness is a virtue, but the way people perceive it is quite relative. Acceptance of apology may be a way for others, while helping the person who hurt you to get out of the habit of ill treatment may be a way for others. To withhold forgiveness means keeping alive the emotions of anger, blame, and guilt which discolor your perception of life. Immense personal beauty and opportunity lie beneath old emotional scars. To move beyond the focus of these scars and into a healing process, each person must decide to relinquish any anger, blame, or guilt
towards others or self and commit to freeing themselves from these old pains. The decision of freeing themselves to experience and enjoy love, peace, and happiness demands the release of these old emotional negative memories and their embraced impact. To be able to live in the now, it is imperative to leave the past behind. I would like to conclude by saying a famous quote by Mahatma Gandhi: "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong." Thank you.
Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. I am Harshita CH of Grade 11 Science, representing Mahatma Gandhi House. I am here to deliver a short speech on forgiveness. Forgiveness and happiness may not be seen as the obvious companion but are directly linked, although it's a long and challenging process. Working with forgiveness can free up the energy that can be channeled for cultivating more happiness. The kindest thing you can do for yourself is working with forgiveness. Your enemy might not deserve to be forgiven because of the pain and sadness and sufferings purposefully inflicted in your life, but you deserve to be free. Forgiveness is quite hard. It might take months or years, but living with a grudge or resentment can often be harder. Forgiveness is the path to freedom. It frees one from the control of the offender. I'm quite sure there isn't one single human being in this world who hasn't been hurt or injured emotionally by someone they knew and trusted. Forgive your enemy because it's the kindest thing you can do for your family and friends. Retrain your thinking. Whenever your enemy and his or her evil actions come into your mind, send them a blessing. Wish them well. After all, they had their own story as to why and what they have done. It is also important when it comes to self forgiving. Sometimes we are the ones in the most need for forgiveness. Forgiving ourselves is harder than forgiving someone else. Forgiveness is a process. Learn to accept your feelings. They all need to be acknowledged for the healing to take place. Now it's up to you. You must decide whether you're gonna define a new relationship, remove all the roadblocks which are blocking your path of living the best life. Try to shine some light and love upon yourself. Thank you.
A wise person once said that forgiveness is the ultimate form of love. For without forgiveness, there is no love. And without love, there is no forgiveness. A very good morning to one and all present here. My name is Icha Munshi from class 12C, representing Rani Lakshmi Bai House. And today, I would like to talk to you all about a very important life lesson, a virtue and a human value, that is forgiveness. Now, one may define forgiveness as the process of letting go of the feelings of resentment, bitterness, and anger. It may also be defined as letting go of the feeling to extract vengeance or revenge from the person or situation that has caused immense pain and suffering to one. Now, one may argue with me and counter my statement when I say that forgiveness is something that ought to be practiced by all, and forgiveness is also something that we all must learn to implement in our lives. So people may counter that by saying that it is very easy to say that forgiveness is the final form of love, and things are easier said than done. When it comes to reality, when we actually have to forgive people, it is not very easy to do so. I agree. But when have good things ever come easily in our life? We always have to work towards achieving good things. So the art of forgiving easily will not come in a jiffy. It is something which we have to work on. We have to work on our inability to let go. We have to work on being a better person. Only then will we be able to practice true forgiveness. So forgiveness is indeed the fragrance that the violet leaves on the heel that has crushed it. Because it shows you how mature you can be, how you can be the bigger person, and how you can let go of the feelings of resentment. I would like to conclude my speech by saying that forgiveness not only teaches you to be a bigger person, not only raises your pranic level and gives you good or increases your good karma, but also it teaches you that it is not about approving what has happened, but rather it is about acknowledging that it has happened and rising above it, being the better version of yourself and being the bigger person biggest person actually you can possibly be. Thank you.